Welcome back to Face Off Around the Culture. Another week of the number one HBCU band podcast. I'm your host, Horatio.
My name is Vidal, man.
Hey, man, welcome back. Season 4, episode 10. Man, I mean, the band season is just flying by. This is a time where we should just stop and relax and just go, man, we're right in it. You know,
Right.
we rush to it, every year. We're trying to get to the season, but we should be more appreciative that we're in the season. We had good matchups. How you feeling about this week, man?
I think you hit the nail right on the head with this one. This was my okay, we've experienced the tough times of Bandom already. This is the relaxed period where we just sit back and we enjoy the
Right.
season. A lot of the big matchups we've been looking forward to, other than the end of the year matchups have happened already. Let's take it and bask in it. I think this year so far has been, for me, a small band highlight year where they have been the push for, or even the trailblazers for this Renaissance period that we call 2025.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just going with our theme of the whole season, which is the band Renaissance. I have to say, I mean, a lot of these bands that we don't normally see are stepping it up, and that kind of it coincides with the theme of today's episode, which is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? A lot of these bands we've been seeing putting a lot of work in, not only bands that are trying to keep their tier level, like a Southern, what we're talking about this week versus Southern versus Prairie View, or a lot of these SEAC bands. Bro, these SEAC bands are stepping it up. Like, this is like top tier SEAC performance. And if those people who don't know which bands or which schools are in the SEAC, that's Benedict, Albany State, Kentucky State, Edward Waters, Morehouse, Savanna State, Allen, Fort Valley State, Miles, Central State, Clark Atlanta, Tuskegee, and Lane. These schools are, normally schools that we don't really talk about a lot. But, I mean, we're going to talk about two SEAC battles this week that I thought were pretty evenly matched up. So, yeah, man, a lot of these schools are we're starting to see how bad these schools want it. Not only trying to keep their tier, whether they're already top tier, but trying to move up tiers. And we see it with these SEAC schools. What you think about the SEAC matchups and just the overall band week this week?
I think after what I viewed after this past weekend, I'm like, man, the SEAC is not a walk in the park anymore. You can't just have a good band and just torch everybody. No, it's competitive. You got to show up now. So I think even you got Miles in that conference. You have Fort Valley, which showed up improved. You even have Savannah State that comes out. Edward Waters has been a great program in this conference. So it's a lot of competition there. And I think when I'm looking at these videos, I'm like, there's something in between these programs outside of just the school rivalry matchup being in conference, right? I'm feeling like some director energy. Like, man, did they talk before this battle? Were they in network? Are they competing with each other? This is the type of the feel that I'm getting from the SEAC now. So I'm really appreciative of these matchups from the SEAC so far, because with the ones we talk about today, man, it was real intense. It was some extra stuff on.
Yeah, man. And, for just the band culture, we need just different. I mean, that's the best thing about HBCU band culture, that we get these different feels from these different schools. And, we need all conferences represented, equally. So that we don't just put maybe the SWAC or the MEAC on a higher pedestal than the CIAA and the SEAC, man. So shout out to the SEAC. And like I said, we'll get into some of these SEAC battles further in the show. But first of all, let's talk about some band news. All right.
What we got
this week? We had some bands unleash their new uniforms. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a band with. Have you ever marched in a band where they got new uniforms?
Unfortunately, not.
In high school, the year you left was when we got new uniforms, and I'm sure after Jackson, not too long after you left, they got new uniforms too. So you've been missing the new uniform wave. But something about new uniforms, it does take a while to get used to the eye, right? If your school has been wearing a certain uniform for a decade, when you see them wearing something else, it does I don't care if you think the uniform is fire. You're going to try to find something because it's just new. So this week, Miles College dropped a new uniform, and I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of bands are using this kind of slick, insignia type of design. They are using that as well. Them and Virginia Union. So I don't know if you saw them, but just I saw that Miles uniforms cost over $100,000.
Wow.
Based on the director's Facebook page. If Virginia Union, of course, kind of going through the new identity with their new band. So how important is uniform? I mean, I know something we don't always think about, but
Yes.
uniform for your brand's branding, and just just to keep the legacy going, but to be able to spruce it up and evolve over time.
I think uniform is important, dog. I think like the feeling of having that clean, pristine presentation of your band, as well as you going through a change, you want to have that premier look and feel. And they say like band uniforms really only supposed to last what sometimes like what 5 years. That's what I've
Really?
been told. That's what I've been told. Like 10 years is like pushing it to the end of the aging period of
Yeah.
how the uniforms are supposed to last. Because like as we see, we've been bands performing rain, sunshine, hot
Right.
parades, and then I'm gonna take off the band uniform thing for a little bit because now I'm thinking about this. I'm gonna go on a little rant about band uniforms. Why is it that band uniforms, when it's cold, they do not keep you warm, and when it's hot, all they do is make you hotter?
Yeah.
That's just a little side note about uniforms
And
that
when
I
it
just had to.
rains, it doesn't keep you dry. It doesn't.
Right.
What are these uniforms good for? Is the question. I mean, they
Just look good.
right, and they only work on like a 80, maybe like a 75 degree day. That's the only time when the sun is out, when it's popping. But yeah, like I've seen people, 10 years. I mean, bro, that people. If that's the case, if what you're saying is right, a lot of these bands are pushing it. So shout out to a lot of these bands who are thinking about getting the uniforms. That's a hassle to be able to, like, that's a big hassle to be able to move all these. You got to refit everybody. You got to. I always thought about too, like you have to get new sizes. You have to get a broad range of sizes for everybody. Like that's something that you don't think about, especially when you join a collegiate band. Like you have to think about all types of sizes or whatever. So and the crazy is, in high school I got new uniforms, and in college I got new uniforms. So I experienced that in both places. Right.
So your uniform actually fit, Horatio. That's what you're trying to
Yes,
tell us.
right?
Like,
No, for real.
I only had one uniform forever, dog.
Oh right, yeah, that was the one you had the whole time. Nah, but yeah, Richard Carver said it depends on the manufacturer, right? And of course, and that's another thing too, being able to keep the styles. Like Virginia Union's uniforms kind of look very swaggish, look very like like down, like really down south type of uniforms, especially their drummers uniform. So all of that matters. The manufacturer, where you get it from, the style. So yeah, man, shout out to these new uniforms. It definitely brings a new energy to your band. So shout out to these bands.
The Jackson State football team uniforms now looking like the band uniforms.
Yeah, that was great. I've seen a lot of great collabs. When it comes
the
to
FAMU thing too.
Yeah. So yeah, man. A lot of these schools are getting more creative with their band, athletic uniforms. So that's great. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this, but we're like a new band alert. Like there are new bands popping up, new HBCU bands, right? That I had no clue about. Okay, have you seen Chicago State?
Who is Chicago?
Exactly. I had no clue that Chicago State was even an HBCU, and this is what we talk about when we say like get a band program, because your band program sheds light to your school in general. Chicago State, which is a HBCU in Chicago, has a new band program, and they are on the scene. I mean, it's just great to see like these new programs. They have a pretty good size. So two new bands, Chicago State and Lemoyne Owen in Memphis, Tennessee. So Lemoyne Owens, they started off as a drumline in 2019 and has grown to be a full band. They got the school got a huge donation, so I'm sure like they were able to, cultivate a band through this big million plus donation. But shout out to these two schools, Chicago State and Lemoyne Owen College. Like we always talk about, look, man, there are a lot of HBCUs with no band that most people don't even know. And if you used to bring a band to your school, a lot of people are going to join. It brings a lot of eyes, just because band is something like athletics where people travel not only to go see but to join. So like you'll be surprised with a good band. And don't let one of these schools like get on one of these lists and go to one of these bigger battles and stuff like that. Like this is really how you can put the school on the map. So shout out to Chicago State and Lemoyne Owen College. Just two bands we want to just keep a lookout. We started this podcast in 2021, where we had in 2020 Florida Memorial popped off. Then we had Wilberforce pop off. So now we really starting to see a lot of these new HBCU programs. And of course, for us, we're a battle podcast. So, we're not throwing you into the fire yet. But we want to make sure you guys are aware of these schools because we want to support our HBCUs. So
look, if you had like a new program, let's call it a rite of passage. You have to battle these programs. Who you throw in the trail to be certified? Who you got to see, or what type of bands do you have to see before you're like, okay, you've been.
And that's hard, man. Because you know what? The problem is that a lot of these bands have so much history and they have so much like big mindsets that once you join, like Jack State's been rolling for this long. And shout out to Nova State. I watched their band documentary. They've been rolling since the 70s. Like a lot of these programs have been going for a long time. So it's hard. So if you want to jump up, you really got to look at what Talladega did. Like they started going at top tier bands in order to bring their band up some tiers. But I mean, you also got to be smart too. You don't want to just because you have a new band and y'all maybe sound good to throw them in the fire against a big top tier program. So I would say try to find, especially in your conference, if you're playing games, try to find battles where you can match up with other bands to get you some clout. Because to me, that's the only way to really get seen as a new program. Especially if there's no interest in it. Like, how do you drum up interest in a band that just started?
Right. I say one thing you can do is go to Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Whoever there.
He's going to anybody, right? And yeah. So shout out to these new bands. We're just keeping an eye on them. And okay. Well, this other story we'll get to later when we talk about next week predictions. So let's go ahead and get into some matchups, man. Where you want to start?
Let's start with Albany and Tuskegee.
Okay. Albany and Tuskegee. First of all, it was hard for me to write notes on this battle because, like we were talking about earlier with these SEAC bands, I thought both of them, first of all, looked great in the stands. Just off pure eye test, look great. Like, never seen Savanna State this big. Savanna State has like 16, 18 tubas. Like, we're in the golden age of band, guys. Savanna State has almost 20 tubas. Like, what are we doing, right? So I thought this was great. I thought both bands looked and sound great.
You said Savanna, or you talking about Tuskegee?
I'm sorry. My fault. Excuse me. I'm jumping. I'm thinking of Savanna and Fort Valley. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Tuskegee and Albany. Like I said, both bands look great. Right? Albany, Tuskegee. Tuskegee's got better just over the past couple weeks. I seen a clip of them. I don't know if you've seen the clip of them. Like they're not showing the band, but it's the director. I've had a lot of people send me that clip of like, yo, Tuskegee sounds pretty good. I'm like, wow. Like, even though we've talked about them this season, and not saying that they were, amazing. I think we talked about them versus Miles, but I thought they were good. I thought that they, Tuskegee overall needs a better book, in my opinion. But I feel like Albany had a better book, but sometimes they weren't sounding as good. What do you think? Who do you think won this? Because I felt like it was pretty even throughout.
I felt like it was pretty close. I think that these bands, song selection wise, were really tit for tat. One played a Gucci Mane song, other played a Gucci Mane song. One played a modern rap tune, other one played a modern rap tune. One was fast paced, other was fast paced. So they each returned with something. And I felt like band for band wise, they didn't have the same issues or problems, but they had the same like kind of issues. If one of them was out of tune in the trumpet section, the other one was out of tune in the baritones. So I feel like they was really neck and neck, even wise. Intensity was comparable. I felt like Albany had a little bit more intensity to them than Tuskegee did, but I want to shout them out. One thing I did want to shout both bands out, even at this tier, is that they started how they finished. They didn't really lose endurance and then lose off steam, which made me feel like real good. I'm like, okay. They played a whole bunch of rounds and they gave it what they had to give for this battle every single round. So I was really appreciative of this, and it was like really entertaining. Plus, they dropped some band classics. Right. So shout out to A1 Band Media, man, for dropping the names of the songs, because it allowed me to say, I've been hearing this song for 12 years now, and I never knew the name of it. Now I know Oh, drop my headphones. Shoot. Now I know whatever the band name of the song is. It was incredible, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, both of the like this made me proud. Like this battle made me like even think about the whole CX bands coming up because I'm like, wow, I've never enjoyed these two bands together like this. These
Mm-hmm.
two programs, like this would be a band battle that you would normally be like, oh, I'm gonna skip. But this year we're seeing a lot of these bands grow into their identity. So as they do grow into their identity, I really need them to get better with, bro. A lot of this comes down to the staff and this picking of the songs, yo. Like some of these songs are like some of them. Sometimes they play the hack band song, and I need these schools to know what time to play some of these songs. Some songs that they play are zero quarter songs, or sometimes like they don't fit. Like they're just playing them just because they have them. So as these bands get bigger and they start to develop more of an identity, I would love to see them start to get into that bag of like, okay, these songs are fit. Well, like we're debuting this song this week. That's something that I think is an art that's being missed amongst HBCU bands, and I really think a band that was pushing that was Southern University, and I feel like they're missing that a little bit as far as every week we got something new. And I think that is a quality of a top tier band. Jackson State really is the only band that's really pushing that now. But I feel like those two bands at the top, like top tier bands, are pushing that. So, and it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. It may take some extra planning based on the staff, but it's not hard to do. These are adults. We've all have been pushed songs very quickly through our push songs on a Thursday, and we got to play on Saturday. So I just wish that as these bands grow, for next year, next season, we start to see a lot more of that. But yeah, man, great battle, great showing for the SEAC. We gotta crown a king of the SEAC this year, man, because it's a lot of good programs in here, and like you said, we have another one to talk about that I felt like was same kind of on the same level as far as equality. You're not knowing who is who, and that is Fort Valley and Savanna State.
Absolutely.
I was very surprised at Savanna State, their size in general. Like it looks more of an aggressive band. It looks more of a band that's put together. Like I said, the last time I've seen them, they always play like little quick hits. They were really like getting into songs. I feel like they sounded a little bit better than Fort Valley at times, because their style wasn't as crank up. It was a little more reserved. But they did a good job. So I put both bands look great in the stands. Both bands look big in the stands. Fort Valley's a little more explosive, but Savannah State is well put together. Like this is the best I've ever seen this program before.
Right.
Fort Valley played Ring. I thought that's when the battle started. It was kind of like second round. I think that's when the battle started for real. So, Savannah State has great tubas, and like I said, they have a lot of them. So they played a rap tune right after that, and I thought it was really good. Savannah State played Gin and Juice. This is what I'm talking about. Gin and Juice is not this is where we talk about where we start to put you guys in the tiers. Gin and Juice is not a fifth quarter song.
We got to retire Gin and Juice for like 3 years or 4.
Yeah.
It's been too much Gin and Juice going on. We're gonna have to retire that.
Right. Y'all are drunk, too drunk at this point. But they played that. I said not the best play calling. Like Fort Valley played What Did I Miss right after that. It immediately took that round. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't. Gin and Juice doesn't always match. Like they have to understand that. And I want to kind of get into this later. Like the difference between a battle band, a band that's like ready to, and a band that's just there for hype. Right. I feel like a lot of these bands are trying to get out of that hype. Like Savannah State was a band to me that was like a hype band. You weren't really trying to go see them play somebody. But now a lot of these bands in the band renaissance are starting to become bands that you can put them in a battle and you'd be like, oh wow, Savannah State, like these guys are really like, crush you if they really was to get on that level. And to get on that level, Savannah State, I know you're listening. Gin and Juice is not going to be the wave. It's not. You just have to be able to put songs in different tiers, and that is not just that. It's not going to work.
Yeah. We heard Gin and Juice from Albany this week too.
Yeah, it's not how you crush somebody, right? I said Savannah State needs a better book. They're really becoming a better band. I'm gonna give it to Fort Valley based on their intensity. Overall, great matchup. What you think, man?
Man, so to me, the story of this battle was who can get to the end as themselves, right? So when I first heard Savannah State, real good projection. I'm like, wow, they sound really balanced. They reminded me a lot of like, man, I think them versus Bowie would be just like a real good, solid matchup. Those two bands. And as I'm hearing them, you mentioned the play calling. I felt as though with Savannah State, once they got to the later rounds, their sound just depleted on me. And I was just like, you had it. And we talk about sealing the deal for battles. You have to seal the deal and you
Mhm.
have to finish as you start with strong. Because Savannah State really shocked me with the first song. I was like, man, Savannah State really coming with some heat. Fort Valley with a lot of intensity up front, a lot of intensity. I said, this is a very strong program coming out the gate. I was really excited, and I felt like up until the last probably maybe like 2.5 rounds, it was neck and neck for me. But then I noticed Savannah State started to wane off, and I'm just like, man, if they could be really consistent and just do what they do, they would have this in the bag.
Yeah.
And I can't even put it on their tier wise because that's something that I feel like we've seen from all different type of bands, top tier,
Hmm.
middle tier, or whatever bottom if you want to add a bottom is just there. It just happens.
Right.
So I think at this point in time, man, you got to finish how the entire fifth is supposed to go. You got to finish strong, and you can't let that endurance slip between your fingers because it ruins the performance to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Great
Yeah.
point. So who are you giving it to overall? Fort Valley, Savannah State.
I gave it to Fort Valley. I gave it to Fort Valley. I wanted to if Savannah State gave me the quality they started with throughout the
Hmm.
entire battle, I would have gave it to them because I felt like they had some really good elements to them. They was clear, they sounded good, the intensity was there. They was really playing for themselves. But then towards the end, I'm just like, man, what happened? And I
Right.
felt like Fort Valley, they started to have a little bit more mistakes at the end, but it just didn't feel like they lost their identity. And
Hmm.
they kept their foot on the gas pedal the entire time, especially in those later rounds.
Absolutely, man. This is great from a SEAC matchup perspective.
I think
I don't
so.
think we've talked about, are are they replacing the MEAC in band relevancy, man? I don't know, man. We have a lot of we might have to
Mm,
have that conversation soon. But as of right now, man, great matchups from both of these bands. Like you said, I'm gonna give it to Fort Valley as well. Just I say based on intensity, but your point of them ending the same way, I think that was good too. Like, you got to be able to finish, and it has to be known that
hmm
you won to get that dub. So shout out to both of these bands. Now, before we get to our last battle, I have a question, man. I have a question. I found this on a band Facebook page. And I thought it was interesting. It says, can you truly call yourself a band head if you have biased appreciation for the stands over the field show? And if a band is truly elite, why would they excel at one over the other? I thought that was an interesting question
mm,
because this show being a predominantly battle based show, and a lot of the rankings that come out are based on field shows or whatever. I don't know, man. Going back to the question, can you call yourself a true bandhead? I think you can. I think you can.
mm,
Just like the one or the other. I do think it is on the band staff to be able to excel at both, to be able to get both audiences or both
yeah, yeah.
like both and be able to do it at a high level. Um, I don't think that some programs want to be deficient in one or the other, but I do think that they understand, what people like and what people focus on. So
hmm
a band like, for instance, I saw a band like Norfolk State. I saw them at a high school band competition this week. I mean, and they killed it, absolutely killed it. But I wish I could have got some of that in the stands versus Hampton. So maybe they,
hmm
they feel like this is our bread and butter. This is like what we're going to focus on. So what do you think about that question? Then we'll get to our last battle.
Man, I think you can call yourself a band head if you just have a preference for one. I think if we as people have preferences, like I think that's undeniable. I don't think you completely just ignore the field shows. And as I was pondering about this, I thought about like how we came into the band game, so to speak, right? We was on field shows. That was the thing.
Yeah.
And then, but I remember over the years noticing just the entertainment value of the field show just start to like slowly diminish and decline. And and I also noticed this quality of the stands is going higher, higher, higher.
Right.
And I'm with what's entertaining for me. I really don't have too much of a preference. I pay attention to what really draws me in is entertaining, and the idea of stand battles has become more entertaining to me. And let me just expose some of my inner thoughts about why this is. When you have a fifth quarter, zero quarter type of band matchup, it is back and forth. It's almost like a game of chess, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the what you do in that moment upon those 2-3 minutes you have your song really matters. It's
Mm-hmm.
stakes at hand. Versus when you have a field show, you come with your field show. If you could execute whatever that field show is to the best degree, if they got a better field show to you that day, that's just what it is.
Right.
There's no changing of the tides. It's
Mm-hmm.
go, and then that's it. But versus like a fifth quarter, you can say, man, I hear them playing over there, or we can pull a little bit more out of this one and
Right.
change the tides of the battle. It's
Mm-hmm.
more dynamic. There's an added skill element just thinking about play calling outside of just playing the songs themselves, having the energy to feed off also. Maybe you messed up on one song. You got another round to redeem yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
in the field, it's like you just go and that's it.
Right. Yeah, it is what it is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that show that's made back in Bandcamp, that's the show that people gonna see, or whatever. Like, you're right. So I didn't even think about that. That is another a part of it. I think that is intriguing, especially with social media and being able to like customize things or whatever. Being able to choose your own thing. People really want to be able to see something in the moment that doesn't feel overly rehearsed. I'm like
Mm-hmm.
a field show. So I think that's a part of it. Something I've seen over the past weekend that I've never seen before, and that is, we go to like a high school competition, not a competition, but like a gym, like a jamboree style, like gym show.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen them start to judge those, which is a
Mm-hmm.
different aspect from what we've seen. We normally see them just judge high school field competitions, but now they're
Right.
judging like gym battles, which is an entirely different criteria because there is no marching and maneuvering, there is no flags per se, or like majorette solo or whatever, like how it normally
Mm-hmm.
is. So that's a whole nother aspect of things that I think is going to be changed too. Somebody told my other friend who's a high school band director, and they went to those, and he told me, yeah, somebody won. I'm like, won in the gym? Like it wasn't a competition, no show,
Yeah,
just playing
yeah.
back and forth like a fifth quarter style, and they chose a winner. They gave out a trophy and everything. I said, wow, that's a completely different
Mm-hmm.
thing for what we've seen. So I think that shows how the tides are changing as far as what the kids are interested in. But yeah, great question. Great question. I just wanted to
Yeah.
get your opinion on that. Okay. Last battle of this week, man. This was a good one. We talked about this last week saying that, Southern hasn't been having the best season. It's not the best thing when people are always talking about the past with Southern. Oh,
Yeah.
20 whatever, 20 whatever. People talking about who was there, who wasn't there. They're not really talking about them right now. So we said last week that in order for Southern to really get um, their name back, right, they got to go in here and they got to get a dub. And damn it, if they didn't come in here and do what they're supposed to do, not only the rain being the bad, and this wasn't regular rain. This was like for the first 20 minutes of this battle, this was pouring down, maybe first 10 minutes, pouring down like heavy ass rain. Rain that will make any band director be like, bro, we're out of here. Like, what are you talking about? But both of these bands stayed in the rain, raining crazy. They both put their woodwinds in the bus or whatever under somewhere, and they just went brass on brass for 45 minutes and went crazy. All right. Now, though I feel like Southern did a great job in this battle, they're doing stuff like how I mentioned that is keeping not keeping them, but that is low tier stuff, which is playing old songs, guys. We've known Southern to be able to give us a new song every week, 2 or 3, to be honest, every week. And I feel like they're falling off in that category. We keep like they have like kind of like that thing that A&T does, like these, which is like playing old songs that they played in the past. When we go want to hear something new, and they go, we're gonna play like Classical was their first song. Bro, we've heard
Mm-hmm.
that so many times. Not only this season, last season, they played the song Outlaws, which was another one. I heard them play Birds. Like these songs are like older 2014, 2015, 2016, and forward Southern songs. I'm like, though y'all sound great. It sound great. You know, it's raining. I understand it. I just feel like that we're missing that aspect of them. But also to play in the rain as a brass player, I absolutely hate it. So to me, like they sounded great in the rain because like most people love the rain. Yeah, it's good for the first song, but if you're doing an entire fifth and it's raining like this, I mean, you gotta really lock in because the mouthpiece is wet, it's all slippery, it's moving all over the place. Like it's really more hyped up to me than what it is the playing in the rain as a brass player. It's fun, yes, but I don't know, man. The uniform being soggy and just the man, you're not thinking about when you're on the bus playing. You're not thinking about being on that bus. Oh, being on that bus after it rains and everybody, man, it's the worst. It's the worst smell.
Yeah, it is
it's terrible. It's terrible. That's all I was thinking about because that rain was coming down crazy. So
yeah, man.
Any thoughts before we get into the weeds of it?
Man, that I think the whole setup was just really wild for the rain and it just the whole scene of it, right? So when I'm watching the clip, I'm like, okay, it's the rain's coming down, it's getting that rustic feel. I see, are we 40 minutes? I'm like, okay, this might be one of those ones, one of those classic sounding bands. And we talk about, playing some of the old criteria. I'm keeping in mind, it's like, I know some other bands do this. I know this happened to me when I was in school. You want to appease the people that are coming back for homecoming.
True.
You want to play the songs that they play in the band. Birds, what came out 2015, 10-year anniversary. All the people from 2015 coming back for their 10-year anniversary for homecoming. What else they play all day? Same thing. 2015 coming back for the 10-year anniversary. Play some of the SU classics and favorites. During this matchup. Another thing I want to add about SU during this battle, they really did, sticking with the homecoming theory, so to speak, they did give me that vintage, like old Southern feeling. Not like, oh, we want Southern to be like when Brian Simmons was there. No, I would say like before that, like early, like 09-ish, 08 type of feel from Southern, like that feel of intensity and taking it there, real smash, aggressive in your face type of ordeal, just with the characteristic type of sounds. Before we get into the midst of it, my theme or like narrative for this battle for me was an emotional roller coaster. And when we get into the nitty gritty of it, I'll say more about that.
Okay. All right. Like I said, so let's play classical first. At some point, now PV was not good in this battle to me. Now, like I said, it's raining. It's a lot of stuff going on. But they didn't really have the chops to me in this battle. Not even just songs, just chops in general, just sound in general. All right, wasn't the best in my opinion. So at some point, the rain stopped. Everybody's back. It's clear now, right? Crazy how like the weather, God, I praise. I mean, it was going crazy. Now just nothing. So the woodwinds are back on both sides. So now we have the full band on both sides, right? Great. That's how you know, like, stick in there, stay in there because it's gonna get better. All right. PV came down on the field towards the end and played Ball Without You. I thought that was, awful. I mean, it just wasn't a good. And so Southern just ran it up on them for the rest of the night. Like Southern did a great job. Like I said, they needed a dub in this. They needed just another a complete W in this column. It was homecoming. I feel like I didn't think about the whole 2015, like going back. That doesn't make a lot of sense because when I was at Ante, we would have to play songs at homecoming that would appease the alumni. I get it. So shout out to both of these bands in the rain. I really can't complain too much because it was a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? But Southern really came out with a dub, and they're honestly, I think they're my band of the week, based on their performance, based on their intensity. I've seen a lot of clips. You know, we always say we got Killer Kev in the chat. Look, it's important for you to go. Honestly, you got to go viral every week. You got to have something that can make the rounds online every week. That's what top tier bands do, and we have people like Killer Kev that facilitate that. So you have to be able to do that. I've seen a lot of clips of Southern playing at this game, and that's what they do. That's what their brand is. So I'm glad to see them come back to that and show out. What you think about this battle, man?
Man, so out the gate, man, PV gave me false hope during first song. I was like, okay, this is not the best, but there's something I'm can be hopeful for, and maybe this will be an interesting battle, right? Right from there on out, the second song, I'm like, man, what are they doing? What are they doing? Because I'll hear maybe one good phrase, like bands have arrangements with call and response. The call will be good, and then the response will just be out of this world terrible. And I'm just like, man, what's going what's going on with this?
Mm-hmm.
It was really starting to frustrate me because it's like I hear good elements, and then the ball would just be dropped. And I'm hearing Southern come from the other side. I'm like, man, this is just like how they're performing today is like a Southern. But then they also took me on an emotional roller coaster, right? Southern plays later on in the fifth because they've been doing, I would say, for the band that they have now. I know this is not a great trumpet year for Southern, but for the band that they have now, they are performing on all cylinders. They play a classic, "Get It On," and at the end of towards the bridge or leading into the bridge, there's like a euphonium part that just goes into the sky. Is a big run. They took it out, and I'm like, how you take it out? Like, how you take it out?
Right.
How you take it out? It's a classic. You can't take it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand, people, they are slawing it out in previous years, but I'm like, I know you took it out, and then I hear the Southern. You can't lie to the Jukes. Won't lie to themselves. They'll lie to us, right? The Jukes won't lie to themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in watching the video, and I'm hearing people when they skip the part like, oh, whoa, what's happening?
Right.
And
right.
I'm like, I'm like, yo, how y'all skip that? And then I just got done listening to Prayer. You get down on the field because why did you do that? Just to sound bad. But then the last song they play sounds like the best song they played the whole night. I'm like, what was this battle, man? Because y'all really messed with me and had me feeling like I was about to get something good. Then saw them slaw out at the end after such a great day. Then you play your best song of the night.
Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot going on, man. And look, it's a homecoming. Look, we say it's a lot going on, but when you have a band that especially it depends on how your season's going. You got to be able to show up at these times, man. You can't, like you just said, you can't finish not how you started.
Right. And PV started off the season with them competing with Texas Southern for the first Labor Day Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not.
Absolutely, man. Well, shout out to Southern for getting this dub, man. They needed that for the season. I feel like they got some, they got some juice back. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, they were my band of the week. But I mean, if we don't have any other comments on that, let's get into our next week predictions.
Yeah, shout out Southern, man.
Shout out Southern, man. I mean, great dub. All right. So you know what we do for next week productions? We got the next week's battles. We're just gonna mention the two who are playing, and we're gonna give our opinion on who we think is going to win the band battle. Oh, Alabama A&M and Alabama State. This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I got Bama State, man. I got Bama State because A&M has messed with me these past 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like they mess with my emotions versus Valley and Jackson State. Before then, A&M was like, y'all could be the band of the year. Now I'm feeling like I don't know. Bama State.
Yeah. A&M versus Tennessee State, man, was great. There was really like they had us completely fooled, but they've dropped down. So Bama State coming off that Jackson State L, they need this as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is gonna be good. And this is just what's this battle called? The
Magic City Classic.
Magic City, Magic City. Like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Mississippi Valley and Alcorn.
Nah. Whew.
What are you thinking?
This is Alcorn by song selection.
Okay. I'm gonna say Valley. I'm going Valley, man. I think Valley. I think this is gonna be another one. We got some good matches. Make sure y'all come back next week, man. It's gonna be some good matches to talk about next week. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going Valley. UAPV versus Bethune-Cookman.
This is a trap. It's a trap.
Right.
UAPB.
Yep. We don't talk about Bethune-Cookman on this show. And speaking of Bethune, I don't know if you know this, but Bethune will be traveling to Jackson State when they go to Jackson State. I think maybe next week. I saw the host talk about that. We could have talked about that too when we talk about our hype band versus competitive battle band. Bethune being a complete hype band, but obviously UAPB. We don't.
I'm excited for that big ball and battle.
If you're just turning in, Bethune on this podcast is on the clock, which means that we're waiting on them to show us something different. If not, then we're going to go completely against them. We've gone completely against Bethune-Cookman for this season. Jackson State at Grambling. Oh, this is going to be great.
This is going to be real fun. This is going to be just a good, fun battle, man. Yeah, I have Jackson State, but I feel like this is going to be a very entertaining matchup.
Grambling, hey guys, if you guys can come through, I'm not saying get a complete dub, but if you can get some rounds out of this battle, man, this would be great. This would be great because Jackson State is flying high. All right, and they need to be humble. All right.
Get you some rounds in before Bayou Classic come out. You know, you ready to surprise the world, man.
Morgan State at Howard.
Morgan.
South Carolina State at Norfolk State. Yo, South Carolina State, man, I need to see something from South because they didn't do the 5th against A&T. I haven't really seen that much of them. Look, man, and Norfolk State, this is the time when we talk about crushing a band. Norfolk State just chills too much for me, man. They'll just play a couple songs and no, especially if they come there. If South Carolina State is there, y'all need to crush them completely. No doubt, Norfolk State, because this will be able to really put you guys in the stand conversation. You guys do well on the field, but I need more from Norfolk State on this podcast. Their book, Norfolk State's book, is on the clock. We talked about that like two weeks ago. Killer Kev says South Carolina State sounds really good in person. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna take your word for it. I haven't seen it. I would love to see them. I feel like this would be a good battle for South Carolina State. Norfolk State, you got to punish them, man. All right. But I'm going.
I got North Carolina, not North Carolina. Norfolk State. Excuse me.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one because of football, man. Delaware State at North Carolina Central. You know, Deshaun Jackson is coming in there.
Del State.
Yeah, man. Really trying to get a good W. As far as football, North Carolina Central is the best school in the MEAC. So this is going to be a good game. Of course, I got Central. We've been liking Central this year. Central's been really good this year. But I want to see Delaware State win the football game, but I'm going Central for the band. What you think?
I got Central, man. Central all the way. Central is one of those bands this year. I'm very proud of Central, man.
Definitely. FAMU at Southern.
Oh, Southern, bro.
Southern, of course. Southern, you can steamroll this one, get 2 dubs.
Yeah.
Albany at Benedict. Albany State at Benedict.
Albany. Oh.
Albany too. Yeah.
I think they got the song selection in the book to make it work in their favor.
Miles versus Central State.
I go Miles. Miles is having a strong year for their competition. I'm gonna say that.
New uniforms, Miles. They got different energy. I'm gonna go Miles. All right. Winston-Salem versus John C. Smith. Winston, we could just go fast with some of these. Edward Waters and Clark Atlanta.
I go Edward Waters.
Yeah, man. We've been bigging up the SEAC. These 2 bands, look, man, we need more of the SEAC bands to really step it up because we've been talking really good about them. So it's another SEAC matchup. Fort Valley versus Lane. Of course, we're gonna go Fort Valley.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fayetteville State and Shaw.
I go Fayetteville.
I'm going Fayetteville.
Because we saw Shaw last week.
Yes. And last, Bowie State versus Virginia Union.
Oh, Union.
Okay. I'm going Virginia Union just because Virginia Union is a little more battle tested when it comes to a battle band. Talk about they're really going to be able to give it to Bowie State. Bowie State does have a long book. I don't know if Virginia Union has that the length.
The length, right?
That
where is it? Is it at Bowie? Or is it at Union?
It looks like it's at Union. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
So,
I'm going Union.
Hey man, those are our next week predictions. Hey man, look, great week this week. The theme of this episode was how bad do you want it? We saw a lot of SEAC bands. Really, the SEAC band as a conference, these bands are really kicking ass. We saw Southern really keep their place, in my opinion, to let you know, hey, We're still Southern Wood play in the rain. You saw a lot of jukes talk about this is what we do. We play in the rain. The rain don't stop the juke. And they did a great job with showing out, doing homecoming. Yeah, man. I mean, great. We had bands with new uniforms, Miles College, Virginia Union, 2 new band alerts, Chicago State and Lemoyne Owen College. So make sure you guys check out for them. And yeah, man. I mean, anything else for this week? Before we get into the end and talk about and wrap it up.
That's the great summary, my guy. I think that hits the nail on the head with all the bandom that we experienced this past week. Man, I'm really excited for this upcoming week with these matchups that we got going on, man. Thanks to all the viewers for checking us out. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man.
Definitely. Well, you can always follow the page. It's a FaceOff. Follow our podcast page, and we put out clips of the show at FaceOff ATC. Follow me on social media at Horatio Radio.
You can follow me at V for Vidal on Instagram.
Yes, sir, guys. We appreciate you guys for another week of the number 1 HBCU band podcast, FaceOff, and we will see you guys next week.
And we out.
FaceOff is a media and entertainment network creating dynamic spaces for band culture and music competition.
And at heart, we are community creators that are focused on building innovative experiences to express our culture authentically.
Founded by Javon Austin and Rich Trotman, FaceOff launched with On the Kit.
So On the Kit is a 3-way versatile drum battle league where drummers compete head-to-head for 4 quarters for the title of the ultimate all-around drummer.
The champion himself.
That feeling right there is just what drives me.
Amazing. I mean, your strength, your agility, the power that you play with is crazy, insane.
At face value, we're a multimedia and entertainment company where we want to be the go-to hub for all things of our band culture. So from show-style marching band to stage band to the drums and more. So when it comes to providing information, broadcasting, and engagement, we want to be that space.